This is Local 4 News This Morning.
Good morning and thanks for watching Local 4 News This Morning. I'm Emily Scarlett. We're now just 4 weeks away from the Iowa caucuses, but do Iowans care enough to show up for the vote? And it's the big story all across the U.S. Big money. The Powerball jackpot has gone up even more. The estimated winning amount is now $450 million. The Galesburg School District is looking to make some big cuts. Two presidential hopefuls are planning to be in our area on this Friday. Candidates from both sides of the aisle are making stops in Davenport today. Another accident, this one involving a car driving right through a convenience store. Don't be alarmed if you see or hear several emergency vehicles near Dixon, Illinois today. Public safety departments there will be conducting an active shooter training. It's one of the biggest events in the Quad Cities. Bald Eagle Days 2016 is flying into the QCCA Expo Center today and all weekend long. We'll get to our top story briefly here, but we are learning of some possible breaking news this morning. Local 4 crews are live on the scene now. A rollover accident, you're seeing that on your screen here. We believe that 2 trucks are involved in this accident. We don't have a lot of details at this time. We don't know if there are any injuries involved with this, but there don't seem to be any traffic issues. This is on Kimberly Road, right where Hickory Grove merges with the west end of Kimberly in Davenport. Again, not a lot of details at this time. And she's dancing live for us this morning as a testimony of hope. We hope you enjoy her performance.
All of us are going to have to deal with the coldest temperatures of the winter season. So I have a lot to talk about here in a few minutes.
All right, get prepared for that. Thank you, Anthony. Well, I don't know about you at home, but I've been missing our furry friends here in the studio, but not to worry. Pet of the Week is back right after the break.
Stay with us. You're watching Local 4 News This Morning.
It's making it tough for me. A lot of folks want to eat healthier to start out the new year, but you hear deals like that, it's hard to pass up.
Yeah, you know, if you're already paying for that large pizza 50 cents more for another, you know, pizza lasts a few days, so just eat it in moderation and you don't have to cook for 4 days.
Yeah, that's another reason why it's one of my favorites. How are things outside this morning, Anthony? This is a story that the entire nation is talking about. Before we go, we'd like to say that our hearts go out to the family, friends, and co-workers of reporter Allison Parker and cameraman Adam Ward. Anthony, of course, everyone wanting to know just how much snow will we see this weekend, but there's also something to look out for this morning.
Yeah, this morning we're dealing with the dense fog across the area, so take it easy out there.
Perhaps the most scandalous, a hand with the middle finger extended. And I can think of so many instances where I would use that taco emoji. So
I thought you were going to say something
I'm excited
else.
about those new ones.
Yeah. Hey, Emily, you want to go running today? And I'm sure you would send the taco.
Taco, of course.
That'd be the first one. Well, you do seem pretty emotional over this.
Just a little bit. They'll enjoy the lower energy bills for sure.
Right, I hope so.
All right, well, coming up, she's dancing as a testimony of hope. That's coming up right after the break.
Much less $1 a gallon.
I did not think so. I remember the time that you're talking about in the area I was in at the time. It was a little bit over $5 a gallon. I didn't think we'd ever make a comeback from that.
Yeah, at $5 a gallon, you don't even want to drive across the river. And now, you know, with $1 a gallon, hey, driving across the country doesn't seem so bad.
Yeah, I remember that time period. No one offered to drive to lunch during those times.
Exactly. Let's walk down the street there.
How long has this food been sitting there? Now there's an app for that.
And I had a little slogan too. Are you gonna sing it for us? I sang it in the 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that's right. Chris came up with a little rap and a little dance to avoid that problem as well. Just reach from the back, right?
Yeah, reach to the back. Reach to the back.
To the back. All right.
It comes with practice. You'll get it.
Thanks, Chris. I'll work on that during the break. Let's check on meteorologist Anthony Peoples on this Friday Eve. Anthony, have you got the song and dance down yet? Heavyweight champion Seth Rollins. Thanks so much for being here this morning.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Nearly 20 years ago, Rob Dleer, a pioneer in the fight against HIV and AIDS, lost his own battle with the infectious disease. But almost 2 decades later, his story lives on. A mini-series called Rob's Life captured what became his most challenging and final year living with AIDS. I sat down with members of Rob's family, and they say even 20 years later, there's still an important message to be learned.
He was the life of the party.
Well, he was mischievous and loved to have a good time.
He could get away with anything and come out smelling like a rose.
Rob and his friends all sneaked out at night and went around East Moline and gathered up for sale signs. And they took them all and put them in front of the high school. Prom, he was dressed to the nines, and so was his date. And, you know, we had no clue, and I don't think Rob knew for sure. He might have been battling with it.
We had suspicions that Rob might be gay, but
it didn't really matter to us. There was a lot of non-acceptance of gay, and there was a lot of fear of AIDS.
They said, well, we want you to follow someone here in the Quad Cities who has AIDS. And I said, well, who? Who do you have in mind? And Rob said, me. And my blood ran cold because I was looking at someone who looked so young and healthy, and yet he was telling me he was going to die on camera.
He was involved along all those 10 years, gay pride marches. In fact, I attended one, and I was a little embarrassed at the time because I'd never seen that before. And I got him aside and I said something. He said, Dad, this is the only way we're going to get awareness. So I kept my mouth shut from that on. And he was right.
I think there's still a lot of misunderstanding about HIV, about AIDS, about gay people. I think Rob can still help educate.
Just feeling so sad for him, you know, and realizing, I remember sitting on the couch realizing that Rob had helped 2 people die of this, and now he had it too.
It hurts. You're not supposed to bury your own kid.
In part 2 of Rob's life, the 20th anniversary, we'll hear from Dr. Lewis Katz. He treated Rob back in the mid-'80s and is now one of the leading physicians for infectious diseases. Dr. Katz tells us just how close Rob came to benefiting from a major breakthrough in treatment for HIV and AIDS. That's in part 2 of Rob's life, the 20th anniversary. Sure, enjoying the Deere Classic is a treat in itself. But you have to admit, some fans have a more comfortable experience than others.
We like to say it's the best seat in the house.
Spectators can take in the game up close and personal in one of the many hospitality packages being offered, from the 17th hole trophy suites to the 18th hole skybox viewing. Enjoy the tournament in style. The VIP tents provide a way for folks to get in out of the heat and enjoy a cool drink.
Pretty much an all-inclusive day for when they come out. They're going to enjoy great golf, hopefully great weather, and obviously some great food and drinks as well.
And while some VIP tents are invitation only,
we have a lot of options for everybody who wants to come to the tournament.
The Greenside Club offers 18th hole viewing and air-conditioned seating, plus it's available to any JDC guest interested in paying the upcharge, of course. Giving you an upscale look behind the scenes of the JDC. For Local 4 News, I'm Emily Scarlett.